You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. You push play and they'll push the limits.
Hey, it's your boy Tom here, and we are back with another episode of the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast. Oh, fellas, I'm glad I could join you this week. Go ahead.
I know it's been a while. It's been a while since we've heard your voice for a full podcast, and there's still no guarantee he's going to make it through this whole.
You never know.
Shall see.
I might just have to leave early.
It would not surprise us one bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. So you're giving out free hugs? Is that what that shirt says?
Hey, free hugs. I'm a cactus.
Uh-huh.
I don't. It sounds very creepy to me in 2021, but I mean, I could just be overthinking this whole thing.
Yeah.
Hey, well, before we jump into y'all's weekend, I got to ask y'all about this cinnamon versus sugar challenge that just came out this week. Gary, close grip Barnidge out here.
Mm-hmm.
What the world happened? I thought you were going to take the bench press. Tell us what happened.
Undefeated.
Well, you got an asterisk.
Undefeated.
We got an asterisk on the first one, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
So yes, I bench close grip because everything I've ever done lifting wise for football, everything I do in football is right here. My punch is tight. Everything's in here. So everything I do is close grip to help with my punch in football. Hence why I was good at run blocking and all that kind of stuff, and I had a strong punch because
that
was
gonna compliment himself. That if he ain't gonna do that,
right.
He gonna compliment himself.
But
damn right.
I think we're missing that. I hadn't lifted in 4 years versus somebody that lifts regularly, probably weekly, and I still only lost by 10 pounds. So
we're not gonna factor in the fact that you weigh way more than I weigh either. We ain't gonna factor that in there.
I don't lift though.
Oh, okay.
Because then we also got to factor in your short arms. That makes it a lot easier.
This is
hey,
what
but I will say this though, Gary, I was surprised at how well you did, given the fact you haven't lifted. But I really think that if you didn't close grip, you probably could have gone higher. But dude, did you max out? Do you know what your max was?
No, I didn't.
See, so you might have lost by more than 10 pounds, Gary.
No. It wouldn't have been about it. It wouldn't have been about that much. Yeah, no. It wouldn't have been about it.
Yes.
It came down to a few pounds. Let's not get carried away here now.
2.5 would have been put on.
Yeah, let's not get carried away here now. Hey, don't let it fool you now.
Hey, well, you were looking good with them glasses on.
I had to take them off. It got serious. They got heavy on my chest. And Gary pointed it out. I had to sit him to the side. Like, okay, all right, you want this smoke now? I'll give it to you.
And I already texted you guys this, but I want to see what our viewers think. Shoot us an email to askcinnamonsugar@google.com. What do you think is the right way? So should DeAngelo have to bench every time Gary benches? Or once DeAngelo sets a mark, does Gary have to get to that mark before DeAngelo has to go again? I think that y'all ended up doing the right way, but Gary tried to play.
Oh, Gary tried me, bro. He tried me. I said, boy, you try. He was like, no, it just doesn't make sense. I was like, no, it makes all the sense. What you're saying doesn't.
Right.
No, so the reason why I said what I said was because I needed more warm-ups because I hadn't lifted in 4 years. He doesn't. Okay. So now I'm going to get exhausted having to lift more warm-ups. So I feel like he should have done the same weights throughout the whole thing. So he doesn't get more rest. I had less rest having to go back to back.
Oh, this is what we're doing.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
Yeah, that's what you
lift. That's why I needed more warm-ups.
Well, you should have been warming up before you started.
I
Thank
did.
you.
And I got 10 pounds less than him.
Unbelievable.
All right, well, if y'all hadn't seen that video, you need to head over to our Cinnamon and Sugar YouTube and check it out. It's a versus series. Gary is currently down 2-0.
Asterisk. It's 2-0 with an asterisk. There's an asterisk by the first one.
Hey, straight domination.
Go
time.
Watch it. This week,
straight domination. I will not lose.
This week,
I'm not losing.
This week is not releasing on Friday. We are doing a Halloween special. It will release on Halloween.
What?
So
wow.
the first series goes to Halloween.
Are y'all going to see who can get the most candy at trick or treat? Is that what the versus is?
Gotta wait and see.
Who can eat the most candy corn?
Ooh, that's a good one. Hey,
how was your weekend, fellas?
oh, Gary, I want to hear what you did, brother.
So we had our game against Clay High School.
Hold up. Clay, I got to make sure y'all understand this now. Clay is the rival. Clay is the
one of our rivals. One of our
Clay
two
is
big
the
rivals.
game that every one of the players and the coaches they circle. In fact, some of the coaching staff coached at Clay.
That is correct.
Yes, coached at Clay. So this is a big time. This is a big time game for the staff, these players, just everything that you could possibly come in. I don't know who won it or not, but this is gonna let me see if the cream rise to the top or if shit sink.
So
what we got?
So we start off the game.
Uh-huh.
They get the ball first.
Well, hold up. Are they a run team or are they a pass team?
They do both. They're not just
okay. All right. So who's the player to watch here? Is it a receiver? Is it a running back? Is it the quarterback? Who's the D1?
It's a mix of a running back slash fullback and then a receiver.
So it's not the quarterback.
No, not really.
Okay, so the quarterback. Oh, okay. In order for us to win this game, we got to get a couple picks because the quarterback's not that good. Okay. So going into the game, what are we telling our kids? What's Clay's record?
They were, I think they're the same. They were the same as us, 4-3 going into the game.
So both teams are 4-3 going into the game.
It could be 5-2. It's one of those.
Okay, either one. 5-2, 4-3. I mean, we're around there somewhere. The game means something. So we're going there with our right. Is this homecoming for somebody or no?
It's their senior night.
Ooh, it's so disrespectful.
Correct.
Kid.
That is very disrespectful.
That's disrespectful. Is this not what you preaching in the locker room? Like, hey, bro, they don't even think y'all good enough. They scheduled y'all for senior night because these are the games that they think that they can win.
Of course, that's obviously said, and then it's also you also got to just say how important the county games are, the area games, because that you have bragging rights for a full year until the next year of the people that you grew up with, because a lot of the kids they grew up with, played middle school ball with, and grew up playing sports with. So you obviously want to beat them.
Okay. So did any of the alumni come back for Clay? I mean, obviously senior night, a lot of people they come back, and
so it's funny you asked that because they had a reunion, a 20-year reunion.
I knew it.
Hold on. But they had the reunion Friday night instead of let them go to the game, which was stupid on their part. They should have had all the people at the reunion go to it and then had the reunion on Saturday, but they did it Friday night, so they couldn't. People that went to the reunion couldn't go to the game.
That was
stupid on their side.
That was super stupid.
It was so dumb on their part.
Okay, all right. Are the stands? Are we full? Is the game's pretty much sold out?
It's pretty packed. I will say it's not full on their side. The right side did not have a full.
Okay, so what's our energy levels? We juice. I mean, what are they playing?
Of course.
Are they playing in the music? Okay, we both
teams are juiced because you got to be. You want to win this game. This is a big game.
Okay, all right. Give me first quarter.
So, they get the ball first. I think it took them 4 plays. They drove down and scored a touchdown. So obviously now we're back on offense and we need to.
So the opening drive, they take it down for a touchdown.
Yes.
A run or a pass?
Run.
Long run?
It was a long run that got them down, and then they scored on the next play. Those are
okay. Run. All right. So now they think it's real easy.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are starting out slow. It's 7-0. We on the sideline. Like, hey, it's all right. We knew that they was gonna score. We got to answer.
Correct.
Okay, we go back out there on offense.
And then we drive down the field, I think, in like 8 to 9 plays and score. So now it's tied up.
Okay, so based on what you just told me, the team that we're playing right now is a really good football team, and we can't make mistakes. We got to earn everything that we got right now, because it's a hot knife through butter on their end, and then the way we cutting it, it's not the same.
No, I don't think that's. I think they just hit a big play. It was easy.
So it's 7-7. Are we 7-7 first quarter or?
No, it's still going in the first quarter.
Okay, 7-7.
So they get the ball back. They drive down. They ended up scoring. We block the extra point.
Okay, 13-7.
13. Yep. So then now we get the ball back. It goes into the second quarter. We have a turnover. They score again. So they go 20-7.
Right.
We get the ball back. We turn it over again, but our defense holds them.
Okay.
So we hit halftime and we're down 20-7.
Oh, okay. What is this conversation like? Because I knew when they scored on the opening possession that it came a little bit easier for them based on how many plays they ran versus how many plays you guys ran. You can do it, you just can't make mistakes in playing like that. It's the difference between, Tom Brady, which is that guy where he can dink and dunk you all the way down the field and not make mistakes if the game's hard, versus when it's easy, he can throw them dimes and darts, very similar to what he did yesterday when, it was 28-0 in the first half, first quarter or what have you. So it's interesting. So halftime is 20-7. What are we telling the kids? The senior night, it looked like shit they scheduled the right team.
So what we're telling the kids is, because the reason we're down 27 is because of mistakes, obviously the turnovers, stuff like that. So like that was the reason why. And actually I was wrong, because it was 20-7 at the end of the first quarter. So they did not score again on offense in the second quarter. So we just can't do turnovers. We can't commit turnovers because it's hard to come back, and it puts your defense at a disadvantage. So I think that was the thing. Hey, we got to take ownership and we got to come out and play better. So
okay,
we come out in the second half.
All right.
They get the ball first. We stop them. Then we get the ball. We drive down. We score.
14-20. Okay, it's a football game.
Yep.
Everybody juice now. We back in this. We on the sideline. We cheering everybody on. Okay, all right. I'm feeling it. 20-14. It ain't over. It ain't over. Okay, we kick the ball off. They get it on offense.
So they get it on offense. They drive down and they end up kicking a field goal.
Ooh, 23-14.
So we're down 23-14. We're still in the third quarter.
Okay.
I believe third quarter. It could have been 23-7 at half. I could be wrong.
It's fine. We at 23-14 right now.
So 23-14, and then we our running back gets hurt.
Mike got hurt, bro.
Yep. So he got hurt. He's out for the rest of the game. And,
okay, we're gonna come back to that. Come back to that.
So we don't do anything. We have to punt. They get the ball back. We hold them again. We get the ball back.
23-14 still.
Yes.
Are we in the fourth yet?
No.
Okay, we're still in the third. 23-14.
Mm-hmm.
Our running back is hurt, and all we do is run the ball, guys. I'm just letting you know. So now it's the equivalent of taking Henry out and putting his backup in. I'm not saying that his backup is trash.
Actually, let me clarify. It's 21-15 because we went for 2.
Oh, 21. How is it 21-15 when it was?
We went for 2 on one of them. Well,
yeah, so
23-15.
Okay, so 23-15. I'm sorry. So it's 23-15.
Yes.
Yeah, our starting running back, which we run the ball all the time, he's now down. So Henry's hurt. We got his backup in, and we still trying to move the ball.
It's the guy you like.
I like him. Yeah, hard runner, hard nose. I want to see what he did after this.
So
23-15.
23-15. We have the ball. There is 3.5 minutes left in the game. We get the ball in like the 25. We drive all the way down the field. There's like 9 seconds left in the game. We're on the 2-yard line, and we run a fake stretch pitch reverse to our receiver, and he scores. So now it is 23-21, and we need a 2-point conversion to go in overtime. Okay.
Yeah. How much time's left on the clock?
9 seconds.
Why do you put this type of pressure on these young kids, man? 9 seconds, 21-23, and this is the punch it in.
I do need to point out that we did have a play where we ran a naked, and they brought pressure that we cannot pick up, and our quarterback made the guy miss and make a heck of a throw on a long 4th down to continue the drive. It was huge.
Okay. So your quarterback fighting for his damn life.
Yes.
I've seen him.
It brought
Yeah.
pressure. We had nothing we could do. There was
Okay.
brought more than we could block. So now,
Right, but as a quarterback, you got to know that it ain't never stopped Tom Brady.
correct.
Shit, he's still throwing touchdowns.
Tom
and
Brady's in the NFL.
first
Though. It's
down.
a big difference.
Yeah, I understand that. A quarterback. I'm just talking about, hey, if he can do it, anybody can do it. That's the litmus test. That's the bar, and that's who we comparing people to. If you can't do that, then you're not a great quarterback.
So now we're all going for 2.
Okay. So hold up. What are we doing on the sideline? Now I've always wondered this, Gary, because with 3 minutes going on the drive that you're going for 2.
Correct.
You know that you're going for 2 if you score. Why are you not telling your coach, hey, we're going for 2, get your best 2-point play ready, right? So they go in, you score. Like, is everybody scrambling on the sideline? You got to call a timeout.
We called a timeout anyways.
I don't understand why you didn't have to do that if you already know that we got to score 8 points. You got to score 8 points.
We called a timeout just so we didn't have to scramble because we ran a play we've never ran before.
Oh, okay. So you ran a play you never. Why would you run a play?
No, you'll see why. You'll see.
Okay.
It's a play we've ran, but it's not. It's a formation is different. So what we did, we just overloaded one side.
Okay.
With both our tight ends and both our fullbacks, and we ran a QB sweep to the right. He's running. He jumps, leaps for the end zone, gets hit in the air, gets stopped 1 foot short from going in. And we lose 23-21 with 9 seconds left.
Damn, man.
But I will say the defense did not let them score again after either the first quarter or the first half. They did not score another point.
Damn, man. Okay, so what are we telling the kids now, man? Like, they just gave it everything that they got and they lost.
We tell them that the reason all this is because we got to minimize mistakes. We're beating ourselves. Like, if we showed our defense could stop them after they scored off a short field, they didn't score again the rest of the game. We drove down the field and scored, but we spotted them 2 touchdowns early because of turnovers. You can't do that.
Okay. All right. I respect it.
That was basically and then I also finally took my my McFly CBD fizzle bath thing with both fizzies this time.
Okay. Looking forward to hearing what you think about that, Gary.
So I'm not sure it really did anything for my body, but I do think I slept better because I usually wake up every night multiple times throughout the night, and I did not after taking this, but it was with 2 of them, not 1. But I didn't feel any difference with my body or anything like that. And I soaked in a bath for 43 minutes or so.
How the hell you stay in the bathtub that long? Did you have your phone with you, Gary? I
had something. I had iPad playing something on Netflix. So once the episode ended is when I got out.
Was it Pornhub?
No.
Oh, I didn't know you said you was in the bathtub. I mean, whatever you say.
Why would I be in the bathtub? I mean, I'm just sitting in it. No. It's so weird. I was watching Netflix movies that made us.
Oh, okay. Oh, so love what I did this weekend.
Yeah, so let's hear what you did.
You'd absolutely love what I did this weekend. So me and my wife, we decided, like, well, not me and my wife. I decided a while ago that one of my buddies, he cycles, and he's cycled with some of the bigger guys or bigger names in cycling. And they've been trying to get me to do this particular ride, which is out in Greenville, South Carolina. And it's the George Hancappy ride. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. It's 80 miles and it's 8,500 feet of elevation. So it's basically you climbing mountains pretty much all day. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, bro. When you have a goal, bro, and that goal rapidly change as reality set in and it hits you as you're going through something. So before I went out there, man, I was hyping myself up like, hey, I'm going to be very competitive. I'm going to go out here. Hey, I'm not just going to finish. I'm going to competitively finish. I'm talking trash and stuff, mentally, physically, looking in the mirror like, yeah, you got this. Bro, I get out there and I try to go to the back, but then they call me to the front and Lance Armstrong's there, George Hancappy and like all these guys that have raced on the tour and they talking about guys that wore yellow jackets and I'm trying to understand like what the hell they talking about, but everything just translated to this is way too damn fast of a section for you to be in. You don't this ain't the section you supposed to be in. But for what? And all intents and purposes, you lost. Like mentally and physically, I was lost. But I ended up in the back because that's where I wanted to be at. Well, they called over the mic and they put me in the front. So now I'm front and center. It's me, the guy from OxyClean, Lance Armstrong, and George Hancappy, and me. And I'm thinking to myself, like, boy, this is not gonna end well. Like how did I even end up here in the first place? And George goes, oh man, this is about to be fun. We not gonna go fast. I said, okay, this sounds like I can hang with. He ain't gonna go fast. I'm cool. I got this. I'm now, my chest get a little big, and now I'm like, okay, I'm finna see how I can compare to the guys who do it. You see what
Well,
I'm saying? Like that's one of
just
your things.
before you continue, going fast. So your top speed could be cruising speed for Lance Armstrong and these guys. So I'm very interested in how this is going to go because I feel like it's not going to go very well for you. So I'm very intrigued, and I'm going to enjoy this, I think.
Bro, so we get up here and I look around and everybody got like these cool kits on and they're matching and you could tell that everybody up here is fast because every bike in this section I'm in is $10,000 plus and my little bike ain't even up there. Like I'm like, okay, all right, I got this, bro. They shoot the gun and George was like, yeah, man, you got this. The first like 4 miles, bro, I was averaging 21 and a half, bro. We was rolling. I'm like, yeah, man, I got this, man. We hit the first little hill. I'm like, yeah, I got this. I want he look over and kind of give me the look. I look over at him, I get him to look like, yeah, man, I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna actually do this. Bro, they hit a hill and they still average 21.5.
What are you at 13 or something?
Huh? And I fell back to my
No, no, no,
6.8.
no.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
I fell back to my 6.8 and was like, he was like, no, you got this. I said, nah, man. I shouldn't have been up here in the first place, man. Yeah, you done ruined my whole ride.
So how fast did you go up the hill?
6.8, I'm telling you.
So you went 6.8 and they're going 21.
Bro, it is unbelievable how fast those guys are because it's all tempo related. Like they try to their cadence and stuff like that. So when they do 21, they do 21 average. They're not doing like 17 in this spot, 27 over here, 40. It's all constant, bro. I was like, I could see it was crazy because they started pulling off, and I was like, are they bikes electric? Like, it was unbelievable, man. But we had a great time, man. I did 80 miles, almost 9,000 feet of elevation. I got a chance to meet some cool people, dude. And it stressed me out. I cramped up. I went through a lot of stages where, I said I wanted to finish competitively, right? It went from finishing competitively to, okay, I gotta finish now. Like I missed 5 months. Like
I knew I was gonna like this.
Right. Yeah. You just have to finish. And then it went from finishing to just get to the next water stop. If you get to the next water stop, that's how you gonna finish. That's how you gonna finish. And I started off by saying, because I had told some of the guys that I was doing to some of my boys, I was like, yeah, man, I might stop once. He was like, nah, you need to stop at every water stop. I said, man, I'm not stopping at every water stop, man. I stop at one. It was 8 water stops, and I was looking for the 9th one. I stopped at all 8 of them damn water stops. And I think I stopped at one twice. Like
you started at the beginning and stopped again at the end of it?
Oh, man, no, because it made like a loop. And you could admit, I was like, man, I'm going to hit this one twice because I think they had sticky buns. So went back there, ate some more sticky buns, and then left. but it was a beautiful event.
So is this whole thing timed or no?
It's a fun though. So they time segments of it, and the segments that they time are usually the harder sections, which are basically climbs.
So what was your time segment versus their time segment?
Oh man, it wasn't even. I wasn't even close.
I know. I want to hear it.
Gary, it wasn't even. I don't even know what their time segments was, but I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you a bird's eye view of what I put myself into. I did. It was 80 miles, Gary. 9,000 feet of elevation, right? That's a lot of elevation.
Correct.
But when you look at it over 80 miles, it's not that bad, right? I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad. Like 15 miles with 8,000 feet of elevation, you like, hey, that's ridiculous. All you did was climb. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at it from a 80 miles. 80 miles, 9,000 feet of elevation, spread out over 80 miles is really not that bad. You're doing some climbing, but it's not that bad. This is what you don't take in consideration. The first climb we did, Gary, was a 4.4 mile climb of 3,000 feet of elevation. That's what the problem was. It wasn't that it was the spacing of the 9,000 feet of elevation. It was 3,000 feet on this 4.4 mile climb. It was 3,000 feet on this 3.4 mile climb. And then it was 3,000 feet on that last climb. So everything in between, you like, okay, I'm getting my legs together, but you still got to get over these little small hills, these little rollers, stuff like that. And then you go to your next climb. I was like, dude, all the elevation are in these long climbs. Man, it was one time on this one hill, everybody that I guess wasn't as strong as I thought they were, or just was having a bad day, they got off their bike and walked it up. Just walked it up. I was like, my goal is to not get off the bike and not stop going up any of the hills. I did it, didn't have any issues, but I did cramp for 33 miles though.
That's fun.
Oh, 33 miles, bro. I woke up this morning and every place I cramped at is sore as hell.
You say 80 miles. I can ride in a car for 80 miles and my legs and butt are sore, let alone pedaling a bike.
Right.
So I'll give you credit for that. So I got a question. So then what? Because there would had to been some point you're like, nah, I'm done. I'm done. Did you ever hit that point or no?
No. So here's the thing, Gary. So because of all my friends and me cracking jokes and talking bad and like I've put a bullseye on my back to where if I say I'm gonna do something and I don't do it, they're gonna make sure that they point it out and I'll never live it down. You're also one of those people. So if I said I was doing the 80 and I came back at 65, then I quit. Yeah. Like I don't care if I got lost or it didn't track some of it, none of that. But I go ahead.
So I guess what mile were you like, man, I got myself in over my head?
50.
50?
50, bro. When I hit 50, that's when my first cramp started. So I'm a 50, 55 miles. Like anything after that, I don't want to do it. I'm like, no. And I want to do that 50, 55 fast. Yeah. At like 20 miles an hour or a little bit faster than that so I can get it over with. So I still get the workout in and I still get, the cycling experience. I get everything that I want, but I get it in a punchy thing. Man, this 80 miles took me 5.5 hours, bro. That's how long it took me to get it done. But at mile 50, I hit my first cramp and I was looking back because getting up to the 50 miles, it was so many people cramping before that. And I thought I had it, Gary. I thought I had it. So after the first climb, so Skyuka is the first climb. And everybody said, man, that first climb is the worst climb of them all. And the rest of them are not that bad because they're not as long. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, when I got through the first climb, Gary, I'm celebrating. I'm taking a picture. I'm smiling. I'm like, yeah, I got this. But what they don't tell you is your legs are already toast from that first climb. These next two climbs are finna be vicious. Vicious, Gary.
Yeah, this does not sound like something I would want to do.
Bro, it's so amazing though because it's been a while since I felt like that. Like, when you're sore from football, you like that, like, oh, I've done something, like I've really put my body through something. I got better. I got a good workout in. That's how I felt after, man. And That's why I loved it, man. It was challenging and it scratched that competitive itch.
I got you. So, Tom, you got anything before we move on? I know, like, you had some stuff you had questions of us about because I feel like he did something that I don't even want to keep talking about because it's going to make me sound bad. So, because I don't do any of that and I don't want to do it. So,
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I think time's lost.
Hello? Can't hear me?
Yeah. He said, "What you talking about?"
Oh, I thought you were saying I did something that.
No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Wait, time. He's not here, guys. We'll just have to keep
Lord
doing this
have
by
mercy.
ourselves. It sounds like.
No, so what I was going to say is I actually have a baby due any moment now. So by the time we do the next podcast, we might actually have a little girl. So I'm at work last night, and Cynthia calls me and goes, "I think I need to go to the hospital now." I'm like, Lord have mercy. So I got to get up, run home. By the time I get home, she goes, "Okay, I feel better now. I'm going to go to sleep." So
Oh
we're
wow.
we're in that contraction zone, where they come and go.
So for all of our viewers and listeners, you can probably expect not to have time on here for about 3 or 4 weeks because
Yeah.
he's gonna have other duties. He's just not gonna be on this.
That's what I've never understood about Tom. Every time he have a kid, he go missing like he had the kid.
I
But
Correct.
then
did.
you always hear the missus in the background complaining about he don't do nothing.
You gotta have that recovery time from dealing with a pregnant woman. You know what that's like, DeAngelo.
Man, I know, man. I know.
I ain't gonna try to
I
set you up.
absolutely know. I'm
I
not
know.
gonna dive into that though.
I
I
know.
do have
RB
to. I do
34
have to
wifey
say this.
listens.
I do want to talk about this before we really jump this podcast off because it has really bothered me, and me and my wife have been going back and forth on this conversation. Have you guys seen or understand the concept of you?
I haven't seen the newest season.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to see the newest season. Have you seen you, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
For all my listeners out there that have seen you, this is the conversation that we had. And I thought it was a very interesting conversation. I wanted to have it with y'all, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this pre-production because I wanted your knee-jerk reaction or your off-the-cuff opinion so I can get the real from you. Uh the question is this. Let me see. Let me see how I want to word this.
He's a loss for
I'm
words right now.
about to say, D, was it that hard that you're speechless out here?
Well, I want to see how I want to word it. You got to give me some time because
All right,
I
well, you
gotta
can come
figure.
back to it. I'll bring up something that
Go ahead.
I know that Time's really gonna hate, but Time, what is going on with your Panthers?
I was
They
hoping we
have
could
just
avoid that.
fallen down a hill,
Lord
and it
have
doesn't look like they're coming back. So I think that's an easy $20. Steelers may end up doing better than them, but I don't think either one of them is going to do better than the Packers. So I feel like I'm going to be $40 richer. But again, y'all benched Sam Darnold. I don't know what's going to happen with y'all. It's going to be a struggle for you.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly after the way we started, and like just watching that game today, just like what happened to our offense? Like we were actually doing well on off. Is it because McCaffrey? Is McCaffrey? I mean, I know McCaffrey's a huge
Obviously, he is. But
part
I
of our
guess you
offense.
can take solace in because the Chiefs look terrible too.
True.
So
Uh, I think that's actually the bigger story is how bad but the Chiefs have lost to good people. I will say that. As opposed to the Panthers, they've been losing to some of the worst teams. But it's just the Chiefs have been looking really bad, and I'm shocked to see that. I wonder if there's something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Did you guys ever have stuff in the locker room that was happening that was messing up your chemistry, but didn't really get talked about?
not really on the
No,
field.
we didn't. I want to say this because I was letting you get that out, and I guess this is me being a Panther hater, and I'll be that Panther hater. When Sam Darnold first became a Carolina Panther and went 3-0, you and all of Panther Nation came at me because I said before the season started, one man trash is another man's treasure until you find out it was trash the whole time. Everybody came at me because y'all was talking about how good Sam Darnold is. Y'all was talking about how how terrible Adam Gase was as a coach. And I was
Mm-hmm.
telling y'all, it's not Adam Gase.
You're right.
Sam
You're
Darnold
right.
had some play in it. No. Don't agree with me now.
You're gonna take this time.
Yeah, you're gonna take this. I need all that negative energy that you gave me earlier. Everybody came at me. Hey, how you like Sam Darnold now? He's 3-0. Panthers was at the top of the division, top of the leaderboards as it relates to the 32 teams. They were number one at a time. Defense was playing well, and then boom, back to life, back to reality.
Right.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden, guess who Sam Darnold looks like? Sam Darnold looks like the same Sam Darnold that played for the Jets. And guess who they lost to? The New York Football Giants.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Unbelievable. So the Panthers are 3-4 now. They just lost that game. Green Bay is obviously looking real good. They're 6-1, and they just beat the Washington football team. But I don't know if they beat a team that was good or a team that was distracted by all the shit that's going on in that locker room over
So
there.
I will say their true test is this Thursday. They play Arizona, and then they play. Well, I would say they play the Chiefs, but it's not looking like the Chiefs are a big challenge right now. But you never know. Obviously, they play them the following week. So we have 2 weeks that can tell if Green Bay's serious or not.
Okay, and then my Steelers beat the Seahawks. We're 3-3 right now. So I mean, we on a bye. So it's no big deal. I mean, is there anything else you want to say about Sam Darnold? Do you still think he's a quarterback that you thought he was when he was 3-0? Now that he's 0-4 in the last 4 games, time.
I ain't gonna lie. I was very optimistic about Sam Darnold coming into the season one, and then especially after we started 3-0. But just some of the mistakes he's made these past few weeks, like the interception he threw today. That like, who the heck was he throwing to that he missed that bad? Like, I don't know. It's just I know our O line's not great, so I'll give him some pass there. But it's not looking good. I'm not so sure we're going to the Super Bowl, boy.
So this is just proof that fandom gets in the way of reality in a lot of sports, and this is more than just football in general. If people allow their fandom to blind them in situations or the way teams are playing, and they think more just because they're a fan, you don't have an outside realistic view on things.
Yeah, and you are a true fan, Tom, when it comes to being a Carolina Panther fan, which I respect it, man, because there's not a lot of people out there that's willing to stand behind a team that has been rebuilt for a number of years. I get it.
Well,
And
you
then-
know what? And I ain't going to be leaving the Panther train anytime soon. But talking about trains, I know Gary had a special train scenario he wanted to bring up for us
I
today.
gotta say one thing before we go to that. One thing.
gonna
That was
cut
a
off
perfect segue, but you didn't let me finish. I got to bring it up, and then
Yeah,
we'll
what's
go on
good?
because I don't want you to talk afterwards. I hope everybody out there saw how LeBron played outstanding defense and then did not go down the court to play offense on a whole series. So I just had to throw that out there. LeBron's looking real form right now. So are the Lakers. But okay, yeah, my train incident.
Hold on, Gary.
Oh,
Can I? I know how to put it into words. now.
Okay, let's go.
Can I ask my
Yeah,
question?
you got it.
Okay, so you guys have all seen You, correct?
Correct.
For the people that have seen You, me and my wife had a conversation, and I've had a conversation with a number of friends. And I want to get what you think. Can you be a criminal and still be a good person? The reason why I'm asking you that question is because she said that Joe Goldberg is a good person. And I'm like, dude, he's a criminal. I mean, granted, I pull for him, and whether it's noble, whether he's a mercenary, whatever the case may be, do you think you can be a criminal or a murderer and still be a good person?
Criminal, yes. Murderer is a whole nother level. Criminal, yes. I definitely think you can be a good person.
So
if you're a criminal.
is Joe Goldberg a good person?
No.
No.
Okay. I would beg to well, not me, but there's some people that would beg to differ that he is a good person, and it blows my mind.
I think if you kill somebody, that you just shown you're not a good person.
And he's killed multiple people, and multiple people that didn't necessarily deserve it.
But I can say this though, whether they deserved it or not, I'm for some
You
odd
still root
reason,
for him.
I'm still rooting for him 100%. I don't
Right.
know why I'm rooting for him though. That's why I'm trying to figure out like
It's
what
because
is
you
it
see
about
him
that
being
show?
done wrong, and he's
Uh-huh.
just reacting to how he's being done wrong. Sort of like Dexter. Like, would you consider Dexter as a bad person? I'd say no. He's a good person because he's actually only killing bad people.
He's got a
But he's
code.
still a
Done bad
bad
things.
He got
person.
a
It's
code.
still murderer, bro. He's
He
still a
got a
murderer.
code.
He's killing other murderers. That's
It
why
doesn't matter if
there is.
you.
I think there's a difference.
Ah, that is crazy. There's no difference.
If you
from,
see Batman kill somebody that's robbing a bank or whatever, or killing people, going around killing people, are you gonna think Batman's a bad guy because he's killing somebody?
so it matters who he kills. So if this
Well, that's the same
said
thing with
person,
Dexter.
Yeah, that's what I just said with Dexter.
right?
Dexter
That's
only
what I'm
kills
saying. So
murderers and
no. I'm asking a question. So as long as he's killing people that should be killed, it's okay.
Yes, because we do that as the government. We have
Oh, that is
legal.
crazy.
We have legal executions. We have the electric chair. We have lethal injections. That's killing somebody, but that's the courts making, or the jury of 13 or whatever it is making that decision. They need to die. And would you say all of them are bad people because they basically killed this guy because they gave out
Yes.
that sentence? So
Yes.
you think every jury member that's ever said yes, you get the death penalty is a bad person?
Based on
I say no.
what we're saying is you said if you're a murderer, no, you're not a good person. Did you not lead with that?
I say if you're a murderer, if you're not doing it for the there's a
so
balance. You have to find a balance. Yeah,
Okay.
situational awareness.
Situational
Okay,
awareness.
just for
guys.
example, if we threw out if somebody came after anybody in your family and you retaliated, would that make you a bad person? No, you're standing up for your family. You're doing what needs to be done for your family. I wouldn't say you're a bad person. I would think you're a good person because you're defending your family.
Okay. So you're not one of those.
I think the thing that makes Joe is just like the things that trigger him and the things that like set him off. And I really just think he has more of a mental issue than it does that he's a bad person necessarily.
But
Well,
it still could be both.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you this right here. Mental problems or not, if you do something that constitutes you being a bad person, then you're a bad person. You don't get to fall back on a
Well, then D,
handicap
you're a
or
bad
something
person.
like that. Okay, wow, Gary. wow. But I do want to say this, and then I'm gonna let y'all have it. But season 3 is the best one of all 3 seasons, and it's the last 3 episodes that absolutely blow your mind.
The statement you just said before, you said about you. What did you say? If you're a bad person, you do bad things, you're a bad person, right?
Yes.
That's a perfect segue into the question I had. So if anybody saw in Philly, there was people on a train, a woman was raped on a train, and people did nothing to intervene. They said one person called the cops, and it was a off-duty former correctional officer who saw it towards the end, and he called the cops. Nobody on the previous 15, 20 stops did anything to stop it. All they did was record it and let it happen. Are all of those people bad people?
Well, my question is, what did it look like? Did it look like it was just 2 people having sex? And so people were recording it like, oh my gosh, can you believe these people are having sex on a train? Or was it like this woman screaming and fighting and like, help me. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know that as of yet, but to me,
that would make a difference.
Well, they said that he was messing with her and she was telling him to stop, and then she was doing this. So if somebody was telling you to stop and they kept doing it and you let it and it went further, you think they wanted that to happen? Like that's my thing.
Okay,
I feel like somebody called the cops and thought it was wrong. Why did it take for an off-duty former correctional officer to do it versus all these other people? Okay, he thought it was wrong, but nobody else did.
I saw this story, and not only did I see this story, what's crazy is an attorney took them all to court, and he tried to sue them all for them not helping based on the fact that he said it's your civil duty to help people when they need to be helped. And that's what he sued them for, and they ultimately lost. But it's interesting that you say that because I feel like it's our civil duty. If we see something, we say something. Whether you want to be coined a snitch or anything like that. But if we want to progress as a human or mankind or womankind or however you want to, I'm not trying to specify anything, but however you want to put it, that's what we need to do in order to be better than what we were before we got here, Gary. You know what I'm saying? As kids and stuff like that. So it's interesting. It really is. But I didn't think that was a great stance time until you said what you said in terms of what did it look like, because rape is rape no matter how you look at it, and you just like, whoa. But then if you're on a train and you hear stories about people having sex on the train all the time,
right?
How do I not know that this is just their kinky way of doing it? Now if it's obvious, like, oh, he really trying to take some, or he like, I mean, I would hope, but again, I don't know what I don't know what it looks like.
Well, they haven't released anything for anybody to see, so I don't think they will, and they shouldn't. But I think if it comes out,
same situation though, Gary. Same situation. You're on a train, that happens, and this guy is that brazen to do that. Do you intervene?
Yes.
Or your way of intervening is it calling the cops, or do you physically step in and do something?
I think I would step in. I would like to think I would step in.
Okay.
Because to me, and to Time's point, I would think if something is like that is happening, she would have said something. I would say she probably did say stuff, and people were just afraid. Because I actually asked one of my buddies this, and he says, I'm a smaller guy. I would just call the cops. I wouldn't be able to physically do it, but I would call the cops. But nobody did until one person did. And obviously he saw something was wrong, and he called the cops. So what did he see that was different than everybody else to make them think it was all right for him to think it was wrong? That's my thing, is you had at least one person and you had people filming it. And I think if it comes out that she was saying no, stop, all this kind of stuff, every person that was on that train should be charged with something. If they were if she was screaming for help and they did nothing, I think you're an accomplice, personally.
Okay. So with you saying that, this is very similar to people snitching and people getting called snitching, regardless of what criminal act it is, whether it's stealing, whether it's robbing somebody, which kind of falls in that same category. Anything of a criminal offense, you should be able to say what it is that person did and not be vilified for telling on somebody that they didn't. They didn't.
Well, in even two Times point, okay, if it looked like just two people were having sex, why are you not reporting that anyways, that it happened on a train? Why do you just
like
film
you said,
it?
you ain't snitching out here.
Hold up, Gary. Hold up.
No,
Hold up. Whoa. What you ain't gonna do is you ain't finna sit here. If we on the train, Gary, and this is the honest God truth. You wanna mess up our friendship? Well, let us be on the train, and it's a dude and a woman that consensually trying to have sex, and you trying to pick your phone up to call the police. Boy, if you don't put that damn phone down.
If I know it's consensually, then obviously, but you have to know that. If you don't know that and you walk on the train, it's different.
Again, it goes back to what Tom said. What does it look like? Because we don't know what it looked like. And again, before Tom said that, and while he was saying it, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? But he brings up a valid point.
But again, you still had somebody who did call, who thought it looked bad and called, and they were right.
And I now understand what you're saying when you're saying that it didn't look right. But again, how do we not know it's not you from the past saying, hey, they're having sex on this train, I'm going to call the cops.
Right. And I will say, I actually Googled this incident, and apparently just a few days ago, the prosecutor came out and said that, or not prosecutor, the defendant came out and said that they actually don't think that with the story that is going out and going around is actually true, that there were people filming it and blah, 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 that the police have yet to talk to anybody that said they were actually filming it, but they were just saying that was a rumor that went around. So they said that there was people that got on and got off of the train that could have intervened, but they even say in that article that I'm just looking it up now, they say, but we don't know what they saw or what it looked like. So essentially, to the point, what I'm saying is, what did it look like to those people that, and I think that's going to be the big point on whether or not.
And also, do you think any of them are going to come out and say, "Oh yeah, we saw this happen. Here's our video. We videoed it, and it's been reported. It's a rape." You think people are actually going to come out and say that? Because now how it's going to make them look?
Okay, so with that being said, can we shelve that conversation just real quick? We'll come back to it, and I want to bring up this conversation. Do you think that, and it rolls right into this conversation, that Vanessa Bryan has something to stand on as she's suing the police department for them taking pictures? So this is how it relates to this. So if I've taken this video on this train, and I know for a fact that everybody's heard of Vanessa Bryan and her suing the LA Police Department for taking those pictures. So let's just say none of them took a video. None of them said anything. How can you prosecute me on something that I didn't do, but then prosecute me for taking pictures and videos of said celebrity? You see what I'm saying?
So as a police, you can't take private photos of a police scene and then distribute it and send it to your friends, and then it ends up in the media hands. That was the issue, because she saw those first before she even knew all of this. So that was things she saw without being hearing from the police. So to me, I think she has ground to stand on, because they're not supposed to be doing that in general. They did it because of as a celebrity, and they pass it around. You can't do that. Right, I think it's different than here. These are just average people who aren't hold any standards or anything like that. They're just people on a train.
So I mean, obviously I hold them morally responsible for what happened on the train.
Correct.
But am I wrong if I choose not to intervene? Because I don't have to intervene I don't have to put my life in danger because your life is in danger. Or do I?
I think.
Do I? That's a really good question. No, do I have to put my life in danger because your life is in danger?
I think it depends on what it is. In this situation, yes. If somebody's getting held up with a gun, no. There's different situations, because you have the chance of getting. Yeah, I think people might want to do it, but if you see a gun and stuff like that, your fight or flight is going to change, because now it's life or death. If you see somebody getting attacked and you don't see anything else, you might be more willing to intervene, because you're not seeing anything else that's going to be life or death. It's like you're trying to save somebody. It's just like if you saw somebody drowning, are you going to try and help them, or are you just going to watch them drown and film it? I think you're going to try and help them. I don't think you're just going to sit there and film them. But today in a lot of society, we do that. People do that when it comes to stuff.
What if you can't swim?
Then obviously you don't jump in and save them. You can't. Right. You try and find somebody that can, or you find something that throw them or that they can use to float on. But I don't think you do.
You know what's funny? There's actually a court case that you study in law school that's about that exact scenario. If somebody's drowning, do you have a duty to save them?
But I don't think you film it or nothing like that. But even some people have. They have a thing every year. A football player who couldn't swim jumped in and saved two of the three kids, or one of the three kids, from drowning when he couldn't swim and then died himself. So some people just will do that because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, we talked about that. We had that conversation before.
So,
I'm wondering who's going to jump in and help these Panthers from drowning.
Yeah. So Gary, you're saying a situation. You're saying a situation. Okay. Yeah. All right. I respect.
I would like to think I am, especially if I'm on the train with a few buddies. 100% we're doing something.
Okay. All right.
Right. But again, like I said, I think it's going to come down to what it looked like. And then a lot of times, sometimes people are just minding their own business. Sometimes you don't notice everybody that's around you on the train. What if? I'm not saying that you wouldn't.
So my problem is it happened over 25 stops. That's the problem. It was 25 different stops.
Right. So that kind of makes me feel like she was probably, you hate to put yourself in like a rape victim's scenario, but it's like, I wonder if she was sitting there like quiet, and then so it just looked like it was two people having sex.
Nobody has any idea how it is. I guarantee shock, all that stuff's in. And there's nothing that should never happen to anybody. I think train The people should be able to.
But this is what I don't understand. How does a person get so brazen to do it in a public place on a train with people there?
Terrible people in this world. That is all I can say, because there's terrible people out there.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
You're absolutely right about that.
Well, we're coming up on our time. Was there anything else y'all wanted to squeeze in?
Well, I got one question. What is y'all's thoughts on the situation with the prop gun and Alec Baldwin? It's a very unfortunate situation.
I thought we was gonna get out of here before that.
It was a very unfortunate situation that somebody lost their life and somebody else ended up at the hospital with a prop gun. What do y'all make of the whole situation? Because this has happened before with Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, during the filming of The Crow. It's happened in an older movie as well. Like, I know people are saying, why do we have prop guns? Why do we do all this stuff? Why do we have guns that still do this? What can we do to make it better? What's your whole take on the whole situation?
See, I was trying not to go through this because y'all were gonna trigger me. And I was trying my best not to have this conversation with you, Gary, or with you, Tom, or with the public. But if y'all want me to have this conversation and go on my little rant, I'll go on my little rant, if that's what it is that y'all want.
And if it's going to be that long, should we save it for next week, or you think we're good?
It's D. You know, he loves to talk.
Man, I'm going to give you the short abbreviated version.
No,
okay?
no, you know what? Screw it. Let it marinate. Let's go next week. You start it off. You start it off next week before we hear our weekend, so we can get to it.
Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll absolutely do that. I can't wait because it blows my mind that we're such a knee-jerk reaction type country when something happens. And and not only is it when something happens, I had this conversation. So when the FedEx driver hits a car, who do you sue?
FedEx.
Oh, okay. You rarely ever sue the person that actually caused the accident. Well, in this case, if I'm working for another company, why are you coming after me? Come after the company that we both work for because they put you in that situation. That's just me giving y'all just a little bit of what we're going to go into next week. I'm pissed about it.
So we'll start off next week with that. Time might not be here, so it might just be cinnamon and sugar, the normal. He's right there in the background, so we're good.
Yeah, as long as y'all keep me in the background, that's all that matters.
We get time in micro doses.
And that is basically a selfie of time.
Yes. I had to come back this week just because the numbers have been declining so much without me being on it. That's just I couldn't. I actually
heard the opposite. I heard our numbers are skyrocketing because we don't hear you talk.
Yeah, I also want to say this. And I'd be remiss if I didn't, because I know Gary probably has no fucking idea, and nor does Tom. I want to congratulate Moose on becoming the Impact World Heavyweight Champion.
I've already done that on social media as well.
World.
We've good.
You have a podcast, sir. Actually
super excited about it.
Okay.
I didn't have any doubt though. Like, why'd you doubt him? I didn't.
I never doubted him.
The greatest big man wrestler in all the game.
You were texting me about how you thought he was going to lose.
Time. Hold up. Whoa. Wait. This is what we're not going to do. We're not going to get carried away on here. Okay.
Moose is the greatest big man wrestler in all of the nation. So I think we should bring Moose on so we can congratulate him. Maybe do that. Also, I might have your challenger for that Halloween trivia, Gary.
You've been talking all that stuff, but you haven't mentioned anything, and you probably won't be here, so it doesn't seem like I'll get a challenger.
See. Well, I think we're gonna have something special for him next week. But we do appreciate you guys tuning in.
And then I need to. If you do have a challenger, you can't be. I know how you are. You'll rig it so your friend knows all these answers. Trying to cheat me. Yes, you will. I know you.
I wouldn't do that. Lose. I want the cinnamon and sugar to win. I don't want our podcast to lose.
Sugar is winning. Cinnamon ain't winning nothing when it comes to horror trivia. You can get that out of here.
Well, maybe we should have set you up with horror trivia so you could win something.
Just wait, sir. You got to watch the rest of it. You never know. You never know.
Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in to Cinnamon and Sugar Time podcast this week. And we will be back next week with another episode. And make sure you go check out the YouTube.
I absolutely hate you, Tom. I absolutely you say just random stuff, bro. That like, I understand. Look, and this is what bothers me about our society and just about people. When we lose somebody young or early or even late, like we don't know what to say. Like there's certain things that we don't know what to say, and we just automatically coin them the greatest. Like, dang, we're going to miss them. They was the greatest this. And I'm like,
so you're
whoa.
still stuck on that, huh?
Well, I'm still stuck on it, bro. He just said that Moose is the greatest big man wrestler of all time because he just won the championship. Just like him saying that LeBron James is this or he's that. But I'm not going to let him hijack this podcast. Guys, thanks for joining us. And we out.
Moose, you hear that? D's talking down on you.
Goat. Moose the goat.
You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. You are now listening to the Cinnamon and Sugar Podcast featuring DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. You are now listening to